Hey guys, and welcome to a very weird Let's Talk. I say that every single time. I feel like we have strange conversations here. But this Let's Talk, unlike the others prior to this one, is going to be more of a therapy than the others, less me just talking at you and being like, here's information that I think is valuable. It's more me just being like, I want to talk about something that has always been bonkers to me. And it's the perception of sadness. Now I think this video is probably going to be called something as, is it okay to feel sad? Now, an obvious answer is yes, you're entitled to your emotions and that's fine. But I will say I'm not exactly sure if others should be affected by your emotions. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people feel like it's like, oh, I'm upset about this. You need to change. It's like, no, man, I also disagree with that, so fuck off. Like, that's also a mentality that I agree with, but you're still entitled to the way you feel. Oh, by the way, I just like had a hot ass shower, so again, brain's cooked, same state I'm in for all these Let's Talks, super not kempt, etc. I'm not like I did my hair and I got sweat on my face because it was a hot ass shower, because I have like smolderingly hot showers because I overthink and it's kind of my way to numb my brain so that I can have 1 second of calmness. Back to the topic. This is legitimately a therapy. Okay, let's go. By the way, this is just a stick. I'm bored. I want to fidget with something. So yeah, it's not a giant dildo, surprisingly enough. Okay, back to what I was talking about. We're talking about something pretty serious. But like I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a person that has any information in this. This is just a humble 20-year-old who wants to talk about something. Let's go. So the perception of sadness, loneliness, loss, all of these things, they're negative. They're negative emotions. Why does everyone feel like those emotions are poison? Or a better example, they're like ice. They're the hot to the cold. They're night and day. Like, they're these things that are the most foreign to you. And instead of looking at them in a different way, you look at them like there's a poison. I don't mean to throw this on you guys. I just see this a lot within people. Is a lot of people jump to the conclusion that I have depression issues and etc. When that can be the case, and absolutely that's a big thing. That's a big problem that needs to be fixed, etc. But there's a mouse running around on my ceiling. It's good to be in the basement. Anyways, moving on. Can you fucking not? You're freaking me out. Alright? I could smack the ceiling, but then he'd fall on me and I'd die. I wouldn't know. What would you do? Like, fucking I want to kill him. He's just fucking up there, but it's still fucking irritating because I hear him when I'm sleeping, and you're trying to sleep, but you hear fucking running around your fucking bullshit. Anyways, we hit these very serene bumps and then we just go fucking mad. Cool. So again, people perceive these negative emotions like, again, sadness, loneliness, loss, all of these things as these like completely heartbreaking things, which they are 100%. They're horrible things in quantities of immensity. They can be fucking horrible. But I think that is the worst way to handle that situation. And I oftentimes find people that do this, feeling like a sad emotion or a negative emotion is literally like going from a hot bath to a cold bath. It zaps you and it makes you scared and like, what's going on? And it freaks out your body. I find a lot with people like this are people that are usually pretty upbeat and happy. At the moment that something like a curveball gets thrown at them, they're like, oh my god, the world's ending. Like shit like that. And that's not necessarily bad, it's just, again, I think that person needs to be told that it's okay to feel sad sometimes, and etc. Now let me go into that. You guys may be like, whoa, what are you talking about? It's not good to feel sad. Yes, it is. It's okay to feel sad and lonely and depressed and all these other things. Not depressed. Depression is a different thing. But to me, I say depression because I feel like a lot of people throw that out there, like, oh, I'm mega depressed, dude. And I'm like, you felt sad for a day. I'm not trying to be that guy, but there's like a difference. Anyway, so the whole point I want to try to hit on is that, again, why do people see stuff like sadness, loneliness, and all of these things as that they are a poison, and they immediately need the cure because it's just not fair, or it's just not okay. I hear these things constantly. I heard them all through high school. I don't hear them as much because I don't really get out much, but you get it. Anywho, it's okay to feel sad. To me, there's an analogy that works really well, and that's the analogy that is there's hot and then there's cold. A lot of people treat this as the worst possible thing, right? When like if you're pretty warm and then you jumped into a freezing lake, you'd immediately be like, what the fuck? And you'd climb out of the lake. That's a human response I find with a lot of people. But then if a person understands the environment, like that it is cold water, they'll sit in it and they'll let their body attune to it. They'll let their body adjust to it. And that to me is such an important thing with not just sadness or happiness or whatever, but your emotions in general. I think it is so important to understand your emotions so that if you ever do come back to that place, because you'll come back to sadness, you'll come back to depression, you'll come back to happiness, feeling angsty, you'll come back to all of these things. The worst thing you can do is treat it like it is a poison. I think the best thing you can do is treat it like it is you planting your flag. I definitely think that is the case. I have a sweater on, but I was sweating a lot, and I liked it. It felt cozy. Okay, anyways, people that I have massive amounts of respect for don't look at it like this. They don't look at sadness or any emotion as if it's, this foreign thing that comes in waves. They look at it like it's a flag. Like they sit there and then they plant their flag. And guess what happens when they come across sadness or loneliness or loss? They don't run from it, and they don't do the one thing that I constantly hear, which pisses me off, which people say, get out of your head. Get to be distracted. Just get away from it. That's the worst thing you could do in any of those situations. Don't get wrong, I believe in having a breather, but not avoiding that situation, especially not something as important as your own emotions. So instead of running from them, instead plant your fucking flag. That's also why I brought this. I wanted to use it. Okay, but I'm an idiot. But the point still remains is you need to understand your emotions, and instead of run from them, plant your flag and get used to being in that environment. If you are feeling super, super sad, see if you can handle the water. See if the coldness is not so cold that you can't bear it. And if you can't, then absolutely at that point, yes, you do have a severe case of depression. Then the next hardest thing is to probably get help. But to me, just realize that you're gonna come back to that emotion, that feeling, and make it your home. Not this poison, not this foreign thing that's never gonna happen again. Because oh God, you're never gonna feel sad, loss, or loneliness, or whatever the heck it may be. And again, I don't mean this is mental stuff is the most. This is why I say it's more of a therapy on me, not like I'm your therapist, not at all. You guys are listening to me just rant. And that's why I made that clear in the beginning, is because mental things are so chaotic in nature, and they have thousands of studies done by them by actual therapists. But to me, that's the one thing where I find it's the greatest strength that I find I have. And I don't mean to be that guy, but I definitely think that's a strength. And it's not that you don't feel sad. It's not that you don't feel lonely. It's not that you don't feel loss. It's that you understand that that's your home. That's a part of your house that you're going to have to come back to. So why leave it a mess? Sit there, understand what it is, and let it happen. Don't just run from it, because you'll never know how to handle it if that's the case. Again, there's different instances of your brain can actually be out of whack. I'm not crazy, but your brain cannot produce. It's a type of chemical that is basically happy. And maybe a dopamine, something like that. Literally, some people who go through depression actually have a chemical imbalance within their brain that doesn't allow them to feel happy. So it's a whole thing. It's there's tons of things into that realm, which is why this is me just talking. It's not like giving advice to anybody. Just me telling you guys my thoughts on why that is bad. And to go into specifics, for instance, the idea of loss. So if you are experiencing loss and you lose a father or brother or anything horrible, maybe just a friend, maybe a puppy, a dog, that to me kills me, a puppy and dog, but, because I went through it. But anyways, it can leave you unbelievably sad, super, super sad, but in the sense, that is good. And I know it's weird to hear, someone saying sadness is good. What are you talking about? Well, one, sadness it makes happiness that much better because you experience both. If you only experience happiness, you would not have sadness, and happiness would be nothing. Anyways, not the point I was trying to get across. The point I was trying to get across is the reason why you feel sad is because that thing meant something to you. That person, that animal, pet, whatever, friend, does not matter. That person meant something to you, and clearly they mattered, at least to someone, and that's you. And as much as it's sad to feel sad, it's also nice to know that there's a reason why you're feeling sad, and there's a kindness and a goodness in that you're feeling it. That's specifically into loss, is that when you do feel immense loss, you are basically showing that person meant something to you, and isn't that exactly what you want to show to that thing, person, pet, whatever? And on the topic of general sadness, again, the one thing I would highly suggest, and it's the one that we're talking about in this video, is just plant your flag. Again, you're gonna come back to feeling sad, and I'm not saying just sit in sorrow in the darkness, no. But I am saying, instead of just trying to get away from it, understanding what it is, understanding how you can make things better. Now that can be by going to watch a video, or just, I don't know, or working out. Working out's a great one. Working out's a fan. If you feel fucking sad, dude, you lift some weights, your body doesn't have the blood to feel sad. It's great. That's why you see a lot of people who are they have a lot of like sadness issues with their body. It's I think personally a lot of why they are like fit and working out is because they are sad about their body, not because they want a better body, but because they hate their current body. It's a negative emotion making you feel negative, and this specific thing helps you feel not as sad. And it also fixes your problem, so it's kind of like a win-win. But again, I feel weird talking about something like this. That's why I said in the beginning that this is very much me talking, because I'm not like a therapist, dude. And that's what people go like, their entire lives to like college and shit to know. I'm just trying to be observant and relay information that helps me immensely. I'm not sure if you guys deem it worthy or not at all. It's where it is on you. And on the topic of loneliness, this is the one I currently am getting smashed in the face with. Now to quickly harp on this, it's funny because, and for those guys who are like, oh dude, that's sad. No, again, I'm comfortable with this, you know what I mean? Like I planted my flag, I'm understanding that emotion. It doesn't necessarily make me sad, but I definitely feel it. You're entitled to your emotions, you can feel it, but it doesn't necessarily shape the way you are or feel or whatever. One does not conquer the whole. Anyways, yeah, and it's funny because like I'm the person that is extremely odd when it comes to like the idea of loneliness and etc. Because for those guys who do not know, I was kind of like a pretty lone dude in high school. Like I wasn't like, what's up guys? I sat at a table by myself and then people would crowd around me. I don't know why, but they did. And that was essentially my experience. The only reason that was the case, by the way, I had a little bit of social anxiety, to be honest. But I also was super trying to get caught up in school, which didn't end up paying out, which is great. But anyway, by the way, if you guys are wondering what this is, it's just something for me to help like stretch out my arms. It's kind of like a makeshift bat that I was just trying to, it helps me like swing out my arms so when I'm doing boxing or whatever, it doesn't fucking throw up my shoulder. Loneliness is actually the one I find the most interesting when it comes to like the negative emotions. Sure, heartbreak can be awful, and I'm lucky enough to say I haven't really experienced that because I've just been like, I got a fucked up mind. I've broken up like 3 people in my life, and it's always been like, oh, thank God that's over. Like, not because I hated the relationship, but like I knew that, like I'm happy that it got over now opposed to later, yeah? Like it was like, oh, this person clearly didn't have as much feelings as I did for them. Cool, now I can go find someone that does, etc. But I've never been that guy. I've never been the person that needs social interaction to feel like I have meaning or to feel like I got a boost, you know what I mean? Like vicariously living through other people I have never done. And that's not exactly negative to do that, or bad to do that. It has its own negativities, which everything does, but it's not necessarily bad to do that. In fact, like if you work at an office, you want to be the best employee so that you can get up, and that's a good, or gain, some ground in terms of whatever the company's built as, but you get it. It's important to do that in those instances. I've never really done that. I've always kind of just been like, I'm dealt my set of cards, I want to play them as best as I can, move on. So that leads me to being very like a kind of happy with just being by myself, and I know that's somewhat weird. It's not like I'm a hermit, but it is very much like I'm not the person that goes out and does stuff, and if I do, I want it to be something to do, not like go into a party and drink drinks for 10 hours and talk about nothing because we're just fucking shit-faced. That's not my idea of fun. But what is like walking. I know this sounds crazy, but like going for a walk and actually talking to another person, that sounds pretty great. Also, going to the movies. Fuck, love the movies, even though it's not really the best for interaction. It's the worst fucking interaction thing ever. If you're a dude who's younger, never bring a girl to the fucking movies. It's the worst goddamn choice you can make in your fucking life. Anyways, I did that once, fucking knew nothing about her, and I had to pay for the fucking tickets and popcorn, and it was bullshit, because I didn't know anything about her than I previously did. Go get dinner, go fucking for a walk, go for a drive, some bullshit. Just do everything but that. Going to the movies with your significant other is when you have already had an established significant other, only so that you can go home together and talk about the movie at hand. And then she says she doesn't like it, and then you like, but I liked it, and then she's like, but this is wrong, and you're like, but that's great, and fucking the fight happens, and you fucking hate each other, and then you feel sadness again, and that's okay. Walking around. I'm warm. Really warm right now. Anyways, what was I saying? I fucking hate doing that because I just lose it. Like literally my brain also in the thing. Yeah, no, I remember where I was going. Okay, so again, I've never been the person that needs social interaction, or at least I never really felt like I did. It's great and I notice it's there, but at the most part I'm like, cool. Like I hate when people say I'm really good at being alone because it's super angsty. And it's fine to be introverted, but it's like, well, we're not really built to be like alone. We're built to be like introverted for sure, especially in our society. But to say that you're like good with being completely alone, a rat or mouse, I will fucking lose it. I swear to God, you guys can't hear it, but it's a little smack of feet. I've always been that kind of person, but recently like 2 weeks ago, someone's fucked it up, and the person that's watching this has fucked it up. One of my friends from high school talked to me a couple weeks ago, like really started talking to me, and it was funny because it was, again, the same scenario was going from hot to cold. And it made me laugh thinking about it because, again, I was perfectly happy just being by my lonesome, not doing anything, not like really communicating with people besides like comments and with my family. I do communicate with people, I'm not like fucking hermit, but to actually have like a friend that is genuinely there and can hear you and talk to you and etc. is something that I don't think I've ever really had. And it makes me laugh because the minute that like I was done, like the next day, like after you talk to someone, like when you're friends and then the next day happens, for other people, it's probably just like, cool, that's neat. For me, it was just like, so that's what that feels like. And then I was like, whatever. And it's weird because even harping on something more than that, if you have a person that is like in your corner, I guess you could say, it creates this weird dynamic to me that is worrisome. And I've never come across it because, again, I've always just been by my lonesome. And it's this idea that this person can like amp you up, you know what I mean? Like they're like, you got this in the bag. This person also is the one who convinced me to stream, and I'm liking it a lot. So boom, so that's great. But in doing so, you're also giving that person like it's the same thing if you were in a relationship, you know what I mean? You're basically giving that person the key to open you up, and they can rise you, but they can also fucking punch that and make you collapse completely, which is, I've never thought about it like that. Now, real quick, loneliness is not tied to this person. By the way, me feeling lonely, it's not. It's just the idea that you get like an understanding, or like, sounds fucked up, but like a taste of what that is, and you have never experienced like it before. So then when it finally happens, they're like, oh god, I probably should rethink my life. Like I've been living pretty weird, because again, as human beings, we're supposed to be interactive with one another. I'm not so sure if we're supposed to like introversion, I think, is fine. You're going ham, buddy. I'm sure you guys are like, what? You have a rat in your ceiling? I put fucking dead mice poison in there? Nothing. He's too damn smart. And if that's the case, I don't even care. You fucking do that. But just, can you not do it when I'm sleeping? Because I can't sleep. It's the most fucking gross thing on the planet. Because I think he's gonna fall on my face. Because he's never over in the corner. He's right above my bed, on the ceiling tile that could just snap. And I get a fucking mouse on my face. Fucking kill me. Anywho, where were we at? Loneliness. Loneliness. So again, it's not that person that did that to me. I know you're watching, it's not fucking you, calm down. But what it is it's the idea that you have an idea that fucks with you. Again, it makes me think like, maybe in high school I should have fucking chilled out and talked to more people, or made more of an initiative, or maybe go to parties every now and then. And then I immediately check myself and think, oh wait, then I wouldn't be me if I did that. So there we go. Like, it's kind of a quick fix. And yeah, it's like a weird thing. And I know you guys might be like, oh, Froth, don't feel lonely, you got us. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I do, dude. Nailed it. Especially on Twitch, I really feel love there. Anyways, don't be eating shit. You're fucking tearing up things. I swear to God, if you take my internet connection, I will come up there and strangle you to death. I don't even care about my emotions anymore. You ever have that thing where it's like your limit, where you're like, oh no, a spider. But if it's like, oh no, there's a spider on my dog, I don't give a shit. I just shut that off and just kill the fucking spider and maybe get bit in the process. That's fine. Don't touch my dog. Are you kidding me? He's a fucking miniature Yorkie. That will kill him. Eat a dick, spider. I don't know what's happening anymore. Yeah, I kind of inadvertently touched upon another subject that I want to do for another Let's Talk, and that is the like weirdness of having like a friend. You know what I mean? Like a really good friend. It's weird because it's again similar to like a relationship. You're basically opening your because me, again, like you guys may know, I only really think the opinions of my family and like close friends matter. I don't know, maybe that's fucked up, but it's true. So again, like when you have a close friend, they have that same ability to like twist the knife. None of them have done that, but it's still like in my head, like what happens if they do that? Oh, trust issues start building up. I see how this affects people now. But yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff this one. I'm actually pretty happy about that. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to execute what I was trying to say better. Essentially, negative emotions are fine. Please, like, not like, again, there's a limit. If again, like the analogy I said, where negative emotions for a lot of people is like ice cold water. And to some, they can get in there and think, and it can like normalize within your body, and you can kind of live there for a little bit and exist. Other people, it's unbearable, and that's where like you need to get help. that's when depression. That's what depression is to me. It's when you can't handle it. And yeah, but I also do think there's a very good thing in getting used to your emotions and like not letting them dictate exactly what you do. Like that's another thing I want to talk about. A lot of people with their emotions let it dictate them. Like for instance, loneliness. A lot of people will be like, I'm feeling really lonely. What have I been doing with my life? Let's go to the bar. They go to the bar, they meet some random person, they bang, and then they're like, oh great, that was a mistake. Like you let your emotions control you instead of you understanding them. You let them dictate you. Same thing with sadness. Some people make a horrible choice in the very depths of sadness, and that's like taking their life, or that's something even lesser than that, maybe hurting another person. Maybe they use alcohol to suppress that, and that leads them to drink and drive and then hurt someone and etc. Bad. Do not do this. It's easier said than done for fucking sure, but goddamn, you can start practicing with things that annoy you. Like again, when you feel sad, when you feel like someone irritated with you, when you feel like someone is trying to fuck with you. This happened a lot when I was younger. When people, because I had fucked up hands and my brain was not great because I was in classes, and that makes you an outlier. So bullies are like, oh, that's prime meat, and then I beat the shit out of them because I was actually really strong as a kid. But when I couldn't beat the shit out of them, I just kind of had to take it. And one of the things you learn when just how to take it is you learn to like analyze yourself in that. Like if someone's yelling at you and calling you stuff, if you can smile back at them and truly smile back at them, you've made that understanding. You're able to see what they're doing, and you're comfortable enough in that feeling of like anger and sadness and like rage. You found that you're home, and now you're just sitting down. And you're kind of just like, okay, yep, I get it. And that's all you can do. And again, there's a power to understanding your emotions. So again, whenever there's an opportunity that it, like shows itself, try to do that. This is not me being your therapist. This is me just talking aloud. I'm trying to cover myself because I swear to God, if people look at me like a fucking guru person, God in heaven, help you. Because I am just a 20-year-old person that prefers to listen way more than talk. And that's why this series, I think the last time I even said it on stream, I said that this would be on a 2-week hiatus. Because again, it is the most weird thing for a person that has always loved to listen to finally talk. And you guys might be like, what are you talking about? You have a YouTube channel. Yes, where the main focus is not to talk, it is to entertain you. It is not meant to inform or just chat. It's meant, well, it is to chat, but it is, again, to be entertaining. That's the main my prerogative, as well as be helpful to a certain extent within the game's medium, not like life. Life is way too complicated for that. On the topic of that, my thought that just popped in my head, do you guys hate when therapists, or you see them in movies or whatever, you hear about therapists, how they constantly ask you the questions of like, okay, well, what do you think about that? Like Dr. Phil, for instance, Dr. Phil, he'll constantly be like, I haven't watched the show in years, but I remember these, and I hate them so much. He'll be like, well, how does that make you feel? Or what do you think about this whole situation? Well, can you answer me the question of, does this truly bother you? Shit like that. And it's irritating because he just is deflecting, but I understand why people do that, I think, and I think you guys should too. And why I think a lot of therapists and etc. do that is because no therapist can go in your head. They can try damn hard, but at the end of the day, no one knows you better than you. So no one knows the answer that you want, the answer that will do the thing that you want it to do, and that person is you. So a lot of that, I think, as much as it is cheesy, and it could be definitely worded better by Dr. fucking Phil, but anyways, is like whenever you, like I do this constantly with my friends, is they're asking me a question, my thoughts on something, and based on prior conversations I've had, I'll just tell them what they've already told me. And a lot of people will try to like express their emotions and how they feel. And as a kid, I like to listen, so I've gotten in the habit of understanding what that means and being able to be like, okay, that's useless, you didn't need and in there, it's not really about that, it's about this. Okay, what about that? Well, again, you have this thing with your parents, etc., and you clearly like that said family member, and that means something to you, and then that's, you're basically just like regurgitating shit you've told me, which is comforting, but also like good. And I think if you want to be helpful to like friends, I think that's really important, is to know that they are the key to their own problem, which is weird to say, but it's damn true, I think. But ultimately, guys, we've talked about too many things. I don't know why. This is really fun to play with. I know it's just like a fucking stick, but it's really fucking entertaining for me. But yeah, we've talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about the idea that sadness and negative emotions should be treated as not like an end, but instead just a home to build upon and to understand. And then we've also talked about the depths of loneliness and how that can be fun. My specific instance of being like, okay, interacting with someone can actually be pretty fucking cool. And they can actually convince you to do things that you may not have considered because you a little bitch who didn't want to do Twitch because he was worried, and that person convinced you. Moving on. And then we talked about the ideas of like not acting on those sad emotions because it can fuck you up horrible. Again, live there, exist in that zone, but do not act upon it unless it is unbearable. In that case, go see a fucking professional to help fix your shit. Anyways, easier said than done for sure. But and the last thing to end it all was the idea that therapists always ask you the questions because you're the only person that can fix your shit. But they also have an art of asking you those questions. I feel really good about this. This was really fun. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this to be as spoken as it was. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, I didn't really finish my thought on that. Let's quickly do that. So the reason why, I did. Yeah, the reason why these are so hard for me to make, or not hard, but exhausting, is because, again, I'm always the person that would rather listen than talk. There's that whole quote about, like, a smart man listens more than he speaks. Ooh, that's not why I do it. I just do it because it's my nature to want to hear people. But, yeah, that's it, guys. Also, Fortnite is fucking banging. I'm so sorry I missed a day on uploading it. Apologies, it will not happen again. Maybe it will. I'm sorry if it does. And we're gonna be streaming Let It Die because there's some new content on there as well. So cool. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching as always. My name is Logan Endo Frost. It means the world to me that you'd give me a bit of your weekend, unless this comes out on Monday. In that case, fuck. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and bye, guys.